The courtroom was buzzing with murmurs as the bailiff called everyone to order. Wooden benches creaked under the weight of anxious family members, journalists, and curious onlookers. It was an ordinary trial day for most, but for Judge Rebecca Collins, this day would unfold in ways she could never have imagined. Rebecca had presided over dozens of cases during her career. Robberies, fraud, violent assaults. She had grown accustomed to the stern mask she wore while sitting behind the bench, a mask that gave no hint of emotion. Justice, she always reminded herself, must be impartial. But as she adjusted her robe and glanced at the docket, something caught her eye. The name of the defendant. It looked familiar. She brushed off the feeling at first. After all, names were often repeated. But as the bailiff opened the door and led the man into the courtroom, her heart nearly stopped. Standing there in an orange prison jumpsuit was Michael Turner. Rebecca's breath caught in her throat. Memories surged. Playgrounds, bicycles, childhood laughter echoing in the summer air. Michael hadn't just been a neighbor. He had been her best friend growing up. They'd gone to the same school, shared lunches, even dreamed about the future together. Then life had taken them in different directions. Rebecca into law school and eventually the bench. Michael down a road she had lost track of. But here he was, shackled, accused of burglary and assault. Michael lifted his head slowly, and when his eyes met Rebecca's, recognition flooded his face. For a brief moment, the world seemed to fall silent. The prosecutor cleared his throat, breaking the spell. "Your Honor, the state is ready to proceed." Rebecca straightened, fighting to compose herself. She was a judge, not a woman from the past. Still, her voice wavered slightly as she said, "Proceed." The trial began. Witnesses were called. Evidence was presented. The prosecutor painted Michael as a career criminal, a man who had wasted his life on the wrong side of the law. The defense attorney tried to counter, insisting there was more to the story. Rebecca listened intently, but her mind kept flashing back to the boy she once knew, the boy who used to help her with homework, who once gave her his only toy because she had been sad, who dreamed of becoming a firefighter. During a recess, Rebecca sat in her chambers, her hands trembling as she sipped her coffee. The law demanded impartiality, but her heart was torn. Could this man truly be the same Michael who once swore he'd never let her down? Back in court, the defense attorney called Michael to the stand. As he took his oath and sat down, Rebecca studied his face. The years had been unkind. Wrinkles carved his forehead. His eyes carried exhaustion, and yet, beneath it all, the boy she knew still lingered. "Mr. Turner," the defense attorney began, "can you tell the court in your own words what happened that night?" Michael cleared his throat. His voice was rough but steady. "I won't deny I was there, but it wasn't what they're making it sound like. I wasn't breaking into that house to steal." "I was trying to help," gasps rippled through the courtroom. The prosecutor objected, but Rebecca overruled, allowing him to continue. Michael explained. The house in question belonged to a man who owed money to dangerous people. Michael had gone there to retrieve something that could save the man's life. But things had gone wrong, and in the chaos he was caught. Rebecca leaned forward, her eyes never leaving his. When cross-examined, Michael didn't falter. He admitted his past mistakes. Yes, he had been in trouble before. Yes, he had made poor choices. But this time, he insisted, his intent had not been criminal. The trial dragged on for hours, then days. Each night, Rebecca went home and stared at old photographs tucked away in dusty albums. Pictures of her and Michael as children, laughing, carefree, unburdened by the world. Tears blurred her vision. Finally, it came time for closing arguments. The prosecutor thundered about Michael's record, demanding the maximum sentence. "Your Honor, this man is a danger to society. He cannot be trusted." The defense attorney's voice shook with passion. "Michael Turner is not the same man he once was. He has demons, yes, but he also has heart. Don't let his past overshadow the truth of this case. Judge him not just for his mistakes, but for his humanity." Silence filled the room as the jury deliberated. Hours passed. Then the foreman stood and read the verdict. Not guilty of burglary. Guilty of trespassing. It was a partial victory. Michael would still face consequences, but far less severe than what the prosecutor had demanded. As the courtroom emptied, Rebecca remained seated, her eyes fixed on Michael as the bailiff prepared to escort him out. For a moment their gazes locked again, And then, breaking every unspoken rule, Rebecca spoke softly. "Michael, do you remember the promise we made when we were 12? Michael froze, emotion flooding his face. "That we'd never give up on each other?" Rebecca nodded, her voice catching. "I haven't forgotten." "Don't give up now. This isn't the end for you." Tears filled Michael's eyes. For the first time in years, he felt hope. As the bailiff led him away, whispers spread through the courtroom. Some would say the judge had crossed a line. Others would say she had shown what justice truly meant. Not cold detachment, but compassion balanced with accountability. Rebecca returned to her chambers, her heart heavy yet strangely lighter. She knew her role was complicated, but she also knew this. Sometimes the law wasn't just about punishment. Sometimes it was about reminding people, even those who had fallen, that they still had worth. And for Michael Turner, that day in court would mark not just a verdict, but the beginning of redemption